I think the website which I found out last week, that's amazing. It's on the WE World Economic Forum.org, and I like it very much. Believe me. And this is a like a wheel tree structure where it talks about the blockchain and immutable record of transactions performed across a network without the need to rely on intermediaries such as central bank. So it explains the blockchain, and then if you click, then it talks about six key issues on the broader spectrum.
Welcome to the OTech Talks podcast, where it's all about working on technologies. You will hear the latest tech information, and your host, Kashif Manzoor, brings together product overviews, how-tos, best practices, tips and tricks, and troubleshooting techniques.
Hi, good morning. Assalamu alaikum. This is Kashif Manzoor. Today is 18th of May 2018, and this is 2nd of Ramadan. So Ramzan Kareem to all of you. Today we are gonna discuss our third session on the blockchain, where we started learning on the blockchain basics, and then I have shared with you the Future Blockchain Summer experience. And today our focus will be on the key topic: do I need a blockchain? Or I can say I want a blockchain. So there are certain questions we need to ask ourselves. Do you really need a blockchain? Asking yourself a handful of the questions can set you on the right path to an answer. You will note that there are more reasons not to use blockchain than there are reasons to do so. So there's a mix of knowledge, variety of knowledge is available. There are a number of decision trees available in the market. So I will take you through today different decision trees, and then how we can decide. And I'm also going to discuss 11 questions which you need to ask yourself before deciding that you're going to use blockchain. Now let's go to the main focus on the topic of, do I need a blockchain? So I'm going to first focus on when not to use blockchain before going into decision trees. What are the decision trees available? But let's go in detail when not to use a blockchain and when to use a blockchain. We understand blockchain technology is a powerful tool, but it is not always the right tool for the job at hand or even at the current stage. And if you're thinking that you will be using a blockchain technology, be sure to evaluate the problem fully. Because we are not here to just use blockchain for the sake of blockchain. We have to find out basically a problem that eventually could be solved through a blockchain. That's the key question which we need to understand. So if there's a simple decision tree which I found from Sebastian Munir article, that do I need a blockchain? Straight answer, no. It's not just for the sake of blockchain using. So when not to use a blockchain, we can say there are certain conditions or certain questions when we can say that if these conditions are not currently well suited to blockchain based technologies. Those are primarily four, which I got from the edX, my course when I was doing edX certification on Hyperledger for business. It's available on edX. So the process. So when not use the blockchain, one, the process involves confidential data. Two, the process stores a lot of static data or the data is quite large. Three, rules of transactions change frequently. for the use of external services to gather store data. So these were the primary reasons mentioned when not to use a blockchain. And when we wanted to use a blockchain, what are the situations or what are the reasons? Definitely, there are certain factors to consider when evaluating blockchain distributed ledger technology for your business. The key questions we have to ask: how many participants are in your system? What is the geographical distribution of the participants? What sort of performance requirements do you have for defining the rules, risks, and responsibilities of each party in your blockchain system is useful as you consider transferring a database to a decentralized environment, such as one of the Hyperledger frameworks. Blockchain is best suited for business applications where one or more of the conditions applies. Those conditions, we can say, one, there's a need for shared common database. Two, the parties involved with the process have conflicting incentives or do not have trust among participants. Three, there are multiple parties involved or writers to a database. Four, there are country trusted third parties involved in the process that facilitate transactions between multiple parties who must trust the third party. This could for cryptography is currently being used or should be used. Cryptography facilitates data confidentiality, data integrity, authentication, and non-repudiation. 5. Data for a business process is being entered into many different databases along the life cycle of the process. It is important that the data is consistent across all the entities and are not digitization of process. 6. There are uniform rules governing participants in the system. 7. Decision making of parties is transparent rather than confidential. 8. There is a need for an objective, immutable history or log of facts for parties. So these are the 7 points which we say when to use blockchain, and then we discussed 4 points when not to use a blockchain. Now let's go to the decision trees which are available in different sources, and I'm gonna discuss the first 11 questions which will help us if the blockchain is right for your business or not. And those 11 questions put together by the WE Forums. There is a World Economic Forum white paper, Blockchain Beyond the Hype, a practical framework for business leaders. This is a nice short white paper which talks about types of distributed ledgers, and then they put together a decision tree. So the decision tree is composed of a number of questions that assist in defining whether a blockchain is the right approach for a particular business or not. So these 11 questions start from: are you trying to remove intermediators or brokers? So you have to answer yes or no. If the answer is no, do not use a blockchain. Yes, are you working with digital assets versus physical assets? Again, answer no, do not use blockchain. Answer yes, go move to the next question. That's a C. Can you create a permanent authoritative record of the digital asset in question? No, do not use blockchain. Yes, it leads to D question. Do you require high performance, rapid, millisecond transactions? No, it leads to question E. But if say the yes, blockchain can't do this efficiently yet, but solutions are in development. If you go with a no, do you intend to store large amounts of non-transactional data as part of your solution? If yes, the answer is no, blockchain. If the answer is no, then it will move to another question of F. Do you want need to rely on a trusted party, for example, compliance or liability reasons? If the answer is yes, blockchain may work, further research is needed. No, it leads to question G. Are you managing contractual relationships or value exchange? If answer no, blockchain may work. Say if you said yes, it goes to H question. Do you require shared right access? Again, no leads to me, then yes, then it leads to I question. Do contributors know and trust each other? Then another question leads to J. Do you need to be able to control functionality? If it's yes, strong case for blockchain, private permission ledger. If answer no, K. Should transactions be public? If yes, strong case for blockchain, public ledger. If no, strong case for blockchain, private permission ledgers. That's I'm gonna put in show notes. So for the show notes, you need to go to otechtalks.tv. Under the podcast tab, you will find this our latest session on the blockchain. Now, this was the one of the decision tree which is published in World Economic Forum white paper, and this is the most latest white paper, April 2018. Now, if we will go to some of the other white paper, or what are the other decision trees available which will help you to find and decide the on the blockchain. So there is a first one which was available. It's as a Brown model, which start from the communication choice, consensus choice, and then it talk about public share ledger, private share ledger. Can anyone use the ledger? Answer is yes, no. Yes, anyone can use them. No, only selected group. So then it leads you to another number of questions. And this is a good model. It doesn't focus on technology, but on the distributed ledger concept. It will help to basically decide with permissionless versus permission blockchain. And that's a quick one to move on with either you are gonna go with the permission or the permissionless. Then our third model is Suchi's model, which is, do you even need blockchain? And that I think we discussed even our session number 1 on the blockchain. That was questions of, do you need a database? Does it require shared write access or writers known and trusted? Do you need to use a trusted third party? Do you need to create functionality? Do you want transactions to be private or public? And then there were a number of questions answers, and then you have to decide it. And this basically model highlights the public and private, and then intra-firm blockchain and all other number of things which this basically introduced. The next our model which we're going to discuss today is the IBM model, which is how to decide when to use blockchain. And they have a primarily 4 you can say blocks. We're talking about high performance millisecond transactions. Yes, then it's consider alternative approaches. Are you managing contractual relationship? Yes. Are you working with complex business logic? Yes, then it leads to, okay, let's talk. Does identity matter? The 4th column was, does this require market approach? And then they have this four column approach, which is called as, you can say, it's acknowledged that you need a market approach. And then step 2 is talking about alternative approaches for smart contracts, and then on the business logic. Then the next available in the market is Lewis model, which he talks about blockchain cheat sheet version 0.1, where he's talking about blockchains for art, music, identity, education, trade, finance, insurance, fund, hype, whatever you name it. And then it goes from, can you articulate a real business problem that needs solving? Anticipated, then there are decision tree. Yes, then it leads you to another question. But if it's antiquated problem of standards, participants all use different technologies, then no. So if you goes to yes, then it asks you a series of questions. Could this have been fixed before blockchains? That's a very good question. Is this a digital identities and the blockchains are free play? Yes, no. Should or control? Could entity have overhaul? So this is I like it, Lewis model. And this is from Anthony, and he put it on the blog, blockchain and distributed ledgers. Could this have been fixed before blockchain? This is a very, very good question. We can ask that even before blockchain, how you will be fixing it, or how you would have done it. Then another model, you can see, or are questions which put together by Sebastian on his blog. It's called as, he haven't put the name, but it's just a number of questions where these are 10 questions which categorized into network, performance, business logic, consensus. And then answer is agree, yes. So for example, on the network, a significant number of participants will be transacting on the internet. You don't trust the participant in the network and don't need one to know them. So these are a different model. And then another one is in May 2017, which is blockchain. Do you need to store data? Are there multiple users? This is all available. Permissionless database. Then there was another DHS that is available on we got it from the Twitter. Do you need a shared consistent data store? Does more than one entity need to contribute to data? This is again another one, good one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put all these models on the show notes and even in our blog post, so that you can, based on the business case, you will know that what are the different decision trees available, what are the common questions we need to ask when we are deciding that do you really need a blockchain, or it is just that okay, it's a hype and I wanted to go with the blockchain. Another very good material or the reference, I think the website which I found out last week, that's amazing. It's on the worldeconomicforum.org, and I like it very much, believe me. And this is like a wheel tree structure where it talks about the blockchain and a mutable record of transactions performed across a network without the need to rely on intermediaries such as central bank. So it explains the blockchain, and then if you click, then it talks about 6 key issues on the broader spectrum. And that's amazing. And even if you will click on one of that 6 key issues, it's like a drill. It will drill down you to the next. For example, these 6 key issues on the blockchain, which identified basically mapping global transformations, under the mapping global transformations on the blockchain. So decentralized asset management, 2 economic and social structures, 3 financial products and services, 4 identity and persona management, 5 governance and law, 6 environmental sustainability. Now in this wheel, if you click on the decentralized asset management, then it takes you to internet governance, innovation, civic participation, 4th industrial revolution, digital economy and society, financial and monetary systems, cybersecurity, future of government. Man, it's amazing that how the blockchain is gonna impact all these industries. And even if you'll go to economic and social structures, then it takes you to again global risks, information technology, supply chain. I mean, this is a comprehensive source of information, believe me. And these 6 primary And if you drill down to each part, then it takes you to the next. For example, I'm just going from the digital asset management and I'm clicking digital economy and society. Then under digital economy and society, it will give me informed governance, access and adaptation, data sharing and permissions. And even if I will click any one, it takes me to another one, which is artificial intelligence and robotics. If I will click artificial intelligence and robotics, then it takes me to human enhancement and assistance, ethics and values, machine cooperation and coordination, smart censored and autonomous robotics. And it's a very, very amazing wheel chart, and I like it. I think I have to spend some more time on this one. So I'm gonna share in the show notes. You'll find out it's available on the WE forum, where it talks about blockchain, explore the latest strategic trends, research and analysis. On this is a high level, but that should be okay for us for the learning purpose. Thank you so much for listening this session. As you have noticed that we are learning, sharing with each other. These were the questions in my mind came up when I was doing all my certifications on the blockchain from last 1.5 months. And then I have searched on Google and I found different sources of information on the blockchain, decision tree, why to use and in which situation to use. So I think let's keep focusing on our core objective that we wanted to learn together. And that's the way I believe on the social learning. And thank you so much for all of you who have already shared your feedback with me through Twitter or even through direct emails on otechtalks.tv podcast, which we started on the introduction of the blockchain. That was our first session on the blockchain itself. And we all are witnessing the emerging technologies, either it's a blockchain or artificial intelligence or the IoT, the chatbots. Our focus will remain targeting these emerging technologies to learn and share with each other. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day ahead and talk to you during the next session.
Thanks for listening to the OTech Talks podcast, and be part of Tech Talks at otechtalks.tv. It's a turf to share ideas, insights, and innovations.